Deadpool 2. We start off in Hong Kong with Deadpool gunning down some armed assassins. However, this would come back to bite him as the armed assassins follow him to his apartment and kill Vanessa. And here we see Wade Wilson get emotional. He goes down on emotional rage like I've never seen before. That's one thing that the Deadpool films, or the Deadpool 1 film, didn't really touch on, was more of a personal story. Vanessa was abducted in the movie, but you never saw Wade Wilson get into a violent rage. He was more comedic and lighthearted. Like, he didn't really care that Vanessa was abducted because he probably thought he was gonna win at the end, but Vanessa's dead. The armed assassins came to his apartment and shot her. This was pretty cool. So we have a depressed Wade Wilson. He goes to the X Mansion and he tells Colossus that he wants to be a member of the X-Men. And while they're arguing about their moral standards, we get an X-Men cameo, which I marked out for. We get Nicholas Hoult, James McAvoy, Ty Sheridan. We get what's his name? Evan Peters, Quicksilver. This was a pretty cool cameo. So now we know where this movie takes place in the timeline. 1988, the First Class series. So that's where that movie takes place. Alright, so Deadpool becomes a member of the X-Men, and they go to the Essex Foundation, where a kid named, calls himself Fire Fist. I believe his name is Russell. So he's calling himself Fire Fist. And he's threatening to burn down the Essex Foundation. And Essex, they're referring to Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, which he was going to be a pivotal villain in this franchise before Disney bought Fox. But all of this was leading to Mr. Sinister coming into the X-Men franchise. But that didn't happen. Alright, so Deadpool, he's trying to convince Fire Fist not to kill. Alright? So he's able to reach the boy, he puts an inhibitor collar on him, and he finds out that the boy has been abused. So he kills the Essex Foundation staff. So the police are there, they arrest him, and they take him to a prison facility, the DMC, Department of Mutant Corrections, I think. So while they're there, we get Cable's story, who's being played by Josh Brolin. And I thought this was an interesting casting. Josh Brolin was Thanos in the Avengers. And when I heard that he was playing Cable in Deadpool 2, I was like, that's odd. I mean, how does that work out with his contract? Is he allowed to play two Marvel characters with different studios? Does he have an exclusive deal with the MCU? But apparently not. He's both Thanos and Cable in the same year. So this was cool. I like Josh Brolin as Cable. Cable's story was that there in the future, his family was killed by Fire Fist. So he's going back in time to take down the kid. So he tracks the kid and Deadpool to the prison. He breaks into the facility. He wants to take the kid. Deadpool won't let him, so they brawl all over the prison. They eventually brawl their way outside of the prison, where Deadpool gets away. However, the kid is still in the prison. Since the break-in happened, the kid is going to be transported to another facility. So Deadpool, he heads back home, and he's going to build a team to free the kid and stop Cable. So they find out the prison transport that Russell is on. So they track the location, and they all jump out of an airplane to catch the prison transport. All the members of the X-Force team die in a parachuting accident, except for Deadpool and Domino. So they track the transport. They get into another battle with Cable. And we get to see Russell. He has befriended a special someone, the Juggernaut. Now, this is a different Juggernaut. It's not the same one we saw in X-Men The Last Stand. This Juggernaut's a little bit bigger, more CGI. So he breaks Russell out of the prison transport. And they're headed back to the Essex Foundation to burn it down. So Deadpool, he goes to, I believe her name is Blind Al. So he goes to Blind Al's house. Right? He befriended Blind Al in the first Deadpool movie. That's kind of like his hideout place, besides the bar. So he goes there. He's talking to Domino and T.J. Miller about what to do about the kid and Juggernaut and Cable. Speaking of Cable, he finds the house. He goes in. Instead of killing Wade Wilson, he offers him a proposition. He's offering to team up with Deadpool and the X-Men because he cannot take down the kid and Juggernaut combined. So we go to the ending of the movie. We're back at the Essex Foundation. They're able to defeat Juggernaut and prevent Russell from killing the warden who runs the Essex Foundation. So Cable's family has been saved. So he can go back home in the future and see them. And that's basically it for Deadpool 2. Deadpool, I thought it was better than the first one. There's more of a narrative focus in this film. It's a little more serious. The language is a little bit cleaner. It's not a lot of F-bombs dropping all over the place. I thought that was good. I like Roland as Cable. I like the X-Men cameo. That was pretty cool. The action is good. There's more of a personal touch to this film. And I like the post-credit scene. Hugh Jackman's back as Wolverine. We get a Wolverine cameo. Now, Hugh Jackman is not physically in this movie. It's archived footage from X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I think it's a sign that maybe Hugh Jackman will return. Maybe it's open to a return. Maybe the door's not closed. I don't know. But Deadpool 2, I love it. I will give it a 10 out of 10. Deadpool 3 is going to be made by the MCU. We don't know when that will come out, but Sean Levy will direct it. So we will see how that one goes. This has been your Deadpool 2 review.